Hey there, folks. I am Eric Osberg, and I am the Rural Rebound Initiative Coordinator for Otter Tail County. And with all that is happening in the world right now, we thought it might be appropriate if we reached out to some local experts who are here to help folks navigate through these uncharted waters, especially in a business sense. And so joining me now is Greg Wagner. Greg is with West Central Initiative. What is your title, Greg?
My title is Director of Business and Economic Development.
All right. So for folks that are unfamiliar with West Central Initiative, how would you describe what it is that you guys do?
Sure. So West Central Initiative is, I guess, first and foremost, is a regional community foundation. And so we serve the 9 counties of West Central Minnesota. And so within that specific geography, we do things that a typical community foundation does. So we have some grant programs, and we assist nonprofits and the likes of, what people think of as a foundation. But we also have a role in economic development, kind of beyond what a community foundation does, and that we provide business loans to for-profit businesses, and we work with cities and counties and townships on planning issues as well, mainly economic development planning and transportation planning.
All right. So let's say that I'm a business owner and the world has been turned upside down and there's some uncertainties that I'm facing and I know there's specifics that would change the answer depending on my business, but ballpark 10,000 foot view as a business owner, what are the steps that I should be taking right now to help me get through these uncertain times?
Yeah, so I guess just to kind of frame up the situation is, you know, when a disaster happens, and this is definitely a national disaster, but usually when a disaster happens, it's in a focused geography, and all the national and state resources can instantly turn and be there to assist. What's different about this one is this is nationwide. It is impacting, as everybody knows, it's impacting everyone and everything. And so the resource availability the machine is moving, but it's not as moving as fast as people want. So what can a business do is I guess the very first step is you need to talk to your lender. If you have loans, you need to be in communication with that bank that you have a relationship with to see what can be done at the local level, first and foremost, to protect your cash flow. Can you move your payments to interest only? Can you defer for a certain amount of time? The banks have an interest to have you stay in business, and so they're going to work with you as much as they possibly can with the rules and regulations they have to follow. And beyond that, talking to the banks, this is a time where there's going to be some other state and federal resources coming into play, and you need to have your financial house in order. You need to have a good grip and good grasp of your financial picture. Are your profit and loss statements in order? Is your cash flows in order? Your cash flow sheets? Is your balance sheets in order? Get your financial picture in order, because to be able to apply for these emergency loans that are coming out, you're going to need to have your financials in a strong format for you to apply for this stuff.
And things are changing, not only daily but hourly, right? Like there's within a 24-hour period, there's new programs that are coming out. Are there a couple, 2 or 3, whether they're federal or state programs that have progressed enough where people can start taking advantage of those opportunities?
Absolutely. So the top 2 things, and I guess I'll back up. The first question that everyone asks is, are there grants? Are there grants for us as a for-profit business? Grants are going to be hard to come by. Typically, in non-disaster times, the answer is pretty much an outright no. There aren't grants to help you support operations. But There are loan programs, low interest loan programs, really, creative loan programs that have been announced. Minnesota was just made eligible for the Small Business Administration, or SBA's Disaster Assistance Loan Program. So any business in Minnesota is eligible to apply for that. And as I had alluded to earlier, this is a nationwide thing. So that machine is grinding along, but it's probably going to take a while for you to get your application in, and for them to process these probably hundreds of thousands of applications nationwide that the Small Business Administration is getting. To kind of stem that lapse in time, because obviously a lot of businesses, with the executive order from the governor to close, they need cash flow now. They need to be able to survive this kind of open-ended closure. So the state of Minnesota just this week also launched the Small Business Emergency Loan Program. And right now that is through some specific geographic lenders, and they're administering the program. It's in part rolled out where you can start applying, and then the formal process and program is thought to be launched by the end of this week. So this week, if you're watching this recorded, I'm talking to you today on March 25th. So hopefully by Friday the 27th, the program is out and those loan dollars are starting to get out working, or the loans are being reviewed anyways. So that process is in play, and that's meant to serve as an interim gap between your SBA application and now. There's a lot of specific intricacies with the state program. You have to have been in the process or are applying for the SBA loan. So again, important to have your financials in order as a business to submit these applications, because it is a loan application. Also, the state program is only eligible for those businesses that were closed because of the governor's executive order. And so that's a parameter. And the other component of that is they have to have already tried to work with their bank and received a turn down letter. So there's some steps that come into play that they need to do. Lots of information, right? Lots of stuff to remember. So I know that we talked about providing some website information for businesses to go, and that will be shared at the end of this little chat. So
what are some of the websites where what are some of the websites I should be going to start to digest this or break this down?
I guess, for a business owner, even if you're not a chamber member of your local chamber, the Minnesota Chamber has a great business focused COVID-19 business resource webpage. So if you just Google Minnesota Chamber, it'll take you right to that webpage. If you're listening and you're in one of the 9 counties that West Central Initiative serves, or even if you're not, we've created a resource page that kind of has sifted through the resources. There's a lot. Everyone has a resource page, right? We're trying to populate ours with those super useful ones on our resource page. So even if you just Google West Central Initiative, or go to www.wcif.org on the top banner. It's a sliding banner, so you might have to click a few, but there's a direct hot button to take you right to that resource page. And it breaks it down to businesses, to childcares, what other members of the community can do, and aligns you with those resources. It shares the SBA, the link to the Small Business Administration's loan program. It also has information on the state's Small Business Emergency Loan as well.
And so to kind of sum up, if I'm understanding this correctly, step 1 is to work with your local lender, assuming you have a local lender, and maybe folks have already done that. Step 2, and maybe this is step 1, but make sure your financial house is in order on paper because this is a process, and the better the information you have when you begin this process, the more quickly that process might go for you. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely.
And statewide deed, are they the state agency that people should be paying attention to? Is that deed, or whom at the state level should people be paying attention to?
Yep, Eric, you're right on. So DEED, the Department of Employment and Economic Development, it's they're the ones heading up the loan program. They've distributed the administrators through a lender network. West Central Initiative is working with DEED to be added to that lender network, but there's a network in place that folks can work with. And if you're in our respective 9 counties, talk to me and I'll put you in touch with the right resources and process to who to apply to.
Is there a general phone number for West Central Initiative, or a general email that people can reach out to you guys at?
Yeah, so if you even just email me, we have an info if you have a general, like not really business related, but general question, info@wcif.org will work. If you have business related questions, Greg at wcif.org will take you to there. A phone number, 218-739-2239, our main line. My direct dial is 218-998-1621. So, and that's ringing right to my cell phone now during this time. So.
All right. Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us. If folks have questions, reach out to somebody. And one of the ideas behind these videos is to let people know that there are local resources that are working very, very hard to help guide people through these uncharted waters. So thanks again for your time, Greg, and best of luck as you and everybody else deals with the situation.
Yeah, and if I could just throw out kind of a parting thought, I did cover, the 2 primary, the state and local. A lot of communities are opening up resources too. So if you have local economic development folks in your community, call City Hall, or just, Google economic development in your city location. They're all here to help. We're all working diligently as the situation changes, and as more programs roll out from the feds, there's going to be more opportunities and more resources every day. And I guess the final parting thought is that there will be a tomorrow, and the best thing you can do amidst all this as a business is you can start planning for that tomorrow. This will end, and it's going to be a new day and a hopeful return to as near normal as we're going to get. And we want you to be there as a business. So we're here to support you the best as we can. So thanks for the opportunity to talk to you today, Eric.
Yeah, and again, thanks for all the hard work that you and folks like you have been doing. We'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. Thanks.